Tell me what you've been reading or what you're reading right now. I'm doing my mid-year reading check-in, letting you know what I've been reading and how much I've been reading. First up, I've read 7 books, actually 8 books. The genre that I read the most, contemporary books or books with a contemporary foundation. At its core, it's very much a contemporary literary fiction. My favorite book of the year, which was my first book of the year, is A Sky Full of Elephants by Sibo Campbell. I loved this book so much. It is one of my favorites. It is up there. It is in my personal literary canon of my favorite books. I just love this book. I need to do a reread of it. I love this so much. 2 other books that are, I guess, honorable mentions of my favorite books of the year. There's Only One Sin in Hollywood by Rashid Newsom and Black Buck by Mateo Ascaripour. I love both these books. Oh my gosh, I love them both. And I think I like them because they're both done in a memoir style of fiction. And I love that concept. I love that idea. I love this idea of just telling the story almost like it's a real person writing out their memoir and you're just in it, and it'd be juicy as hell. My most disappointing read was Interview with the Vampire by Anne Rice. Maybe it was at the time when I read it, I was not fully in the mood to read this, and maybe if I do a second read of this, I will enjoy it, understand it, grasp it, connect with it a lot better than this first go round. But I was disappointed. I did not enjoy it as much. I didn't have as much fun with it. I felt like the writing was such a drag to read. I just wasn't feeling it. I just wasn't in the mood to read this, and maybe I need to come back to reading this later. I want to watch the movie and the series, so I've already read the book, so I might as well watch the movie and the series. But for the series, I do want to read the Vampire Lestat book. I want to know what that's about. I do want to read Queen of the Damned to know what that's about. But I don't know if I could read Anne's writing right now. Maybe once I do a second reread of this, understanding Anne Rice's style of writing, I can go into the book understanding how to read it and be able to move on to the next book and take that understanding of how she writes into the next book so that I can enjoy it for what it is. My most surprising read of the year so far is Full Disclosure by Cameron Garrett. It surprised me because I did not expect to enjoy it as much as I did. I thought it would have been a good read. It would have been a decent read. It would have been a nice read. But I thought it would have been a little bit heavier and possibly even just darker. I don't know, because it is about a teenage girl who is HIV positive and her just trying to navigate high school and live and fall in love. It was way more fun to read, destigmatizing what HIV is. So that there's a better understanding of it so that we know how to navigate it better in the real world with actual information. And then she also listed so many great resources at the back that help in understanding HIV so that we are more educated and understanding of it. I think this is a great book for young adults to read so that they are aware of HIV and how to navigate it. Out of all the books that I read, there have been no sequels, and hopefully I'm about to change that in the second half of the year. I'll try to read more books that are in a series and get into the sequels. The most beautiful book that I read this year is The Loophole by Naz Kutub. I love this cover. I love how colorful and how soft and sweet it is. I love this cover. I think it's beautiful, and it really exemplifies the energy of the story. It is very fun and whimsical and globe-trotting. It's such a beautiful story, and it's such a beautiful cover to the book. I haven't bought any book covers that I feel are super beautiful in this way that captivated me, in the way that The Loophole captivated me. But I'm definitely going to look out for more books with beautiful covers because there are quite a few books that are coming out this year that have some cute covers that I'm interested in. My new favorite author, I would have to say, is Sibo Campbell for Sky Full of Elephants. Baby, I love this book bad. I love her down boots, baby. Oh my gosh. At first, when I went into the book, I was like, I don't know about this writing. I know Sibo Campbell is a poet, and the writing is already a little poetic at the beginning, but he still managed to balance poetic style writing with prose and told a really great story with it. I loved it. I enjoyed it. I appreciate it. I love writers that know how to balance poetry with prose and blend the two so that you're still getting the visual of what you're reading. You understand what you're reading, but there's also the color and the flavor and the emotion and the feeling that comes with poetry just blended into the story and just woven in effortlessly. I also love Rashid Newsom. I love his storytelling. I love his characterization. I'm looking forward to reading his first novel, My Government Means to Kill Me. I believe that's the name of it. And then also that is another novel that is about HIV and HIV stigma and its impact on marginalized communities. It seems like it's going to be something memoir-y in this way that this story is, because the book, to me, at first I thought it was a memoir, but then I found out it's a novel. I feel like he's going to give me memoir energy with the first book, and I'm looking forward to what else Rashad Newsom writes. And also I love Mateo Escobar. I am loving him as an author. I'm looking forward to reading more novels by Mateo Escobar. I want to see what else he's interested in writing, because this book was funny for me. There was only two main parts that were super funny for me. This novel is very satirical. It was dark humor, and it had some moments where it was just like, oh my god, this is real. It's a little dark, it's a little intense, but also it has funny moments. It was funny for me because I could relate to it. I understood it, I understood what was going on. I loved his writing. His writing was also effortless, but it was also very well constructed storytelling, well constructed writing, well constructed characters, thought, everything just coming together. It's a great book. I loved it. I think this might actually go into my personal canon of books because I enjoyed this so much. My newest fictional crush is Horace in There's Only One Sin in Hollywood. Baby, Horace, Horace turned me on. Just reading about him. It was a little toxic. It was a little toxic. But also I was like, yes, give me Horace. Put it in me, Horace. Yes, I appreciate it. Please, thank you. I wanted to rub on that bald head, kiss on them thick ass lips. Oh my god. I was, ooh, baby. Part of me wants a Horace, but then part of me also is like, no, girl. One night. One night. It's a little problematic, but sometimes that problematic jerk is good, honey, baby. Horace is my new fictional crush. I'm loving him. I'm feeling it. My newest favorite character has to be Simone from Full Disclosure. I loved her character. I loved how she was sure of herself. She was so strong within herself as a character, as a teenage girl, as a black teenage girl who is HIV positive. There was a confidence, lightness to her character. I couldn't help but compare her to other young adult characters that are girls. There was no wilting flower in the corner. She was just like, I'm living, girl. I'm about to enjoy my life. I'm about to get my peace. I'm doing my thing. Don't even worry about me. I got this. So I love that independence about her. She reminded me a little bit of Star from The Hate U Give. I live for young adult characters like that. Simone is one of my favorite new characters this year so far. And also Darren Buck Vender in Black Buck is one of my favorite characters of this year. He was just so funny. There was a confidence and a self-assurance in who he is. He didn't feel completely defined by his role in society or what he was doing. He wasn't downtrodden by that. Other people might have felt like, oh, you should feel this way about what you're doing or how you're living or whatever. And he was just still like, baby, I'm living my life and I'm happy. And then even when he moved on to another part of his life and was living a different kind of identity, it was a little toxic and a little messy, but he was just very self-assured, self-contained, very smart, very diligent. I loved him as a character. I love who he became as the story went on. He just been funny, very opinionated, very in your face. It is what it is, and I appreciate him as a character. I loved seeing just a black male character just be so strong and unapologetic. Although he had to deal with some bullshit from white people. For a book that made me cry, I did not have any books that made me cry. Not this year. Nothing yet. Now, a book that made me happy is Sky Full of Elephants by Sibo Campbell. This made me very happy. I wanted to read more books like this where we're seeing black people, a black society, black community thriving and existing. We're building up infrastructure. We are living in our own cities, towns, just expanding, living, thriving, getting to relax, getting to have community, to build relationships, governing ourselves, handling our own business. I want to read more stories like that where black people are thriving and where black people are self-reliant and we are thriving by our own means and doing. Basically, more stories that are giving you Black Wall Street energy. Like, Black people are thriving. We got our own community. We got our own, everything is prospering over here. And it was all built by Black people. It was all maintained, protected, taken care of. It is developed, everything all by Black people. And we are in community with each other. We're just building all of that up with each other. Sky Full of Elephants made me happy, and I want to read more books that just have that Black connection, unity, thriving, self-determination. There haven't been any new releases that I have not read yet because I have not been able to keep up with them. I gotta go back through the records and see what books came out this year that I really want to read. I'm gonna have to go look through my list and see what came out in the first half of the year that I need to get. My most anticipated releases for the second half of the year are number one, top of the list is The Dragon King by Terry J. Benton Walker. I forgot to write down the release date of The Dragon King by Terry J. Benton Walker, but that is number one on my list, top of my list. It is a Black romantasy. Two kings like having to work together or something like that, and they fall in love. Baby, I need this. I need this. This is what I wanted. This is what I asked for. And if I don't show up for this, baby, it'd be ridiculous for me not to show up for what I asked for. That's crazy work. So I'm definitely going to be there. I know it's in November. It's a shame that I did not write down the release date for it here, but I'm going to put that on the screen because, baby, I'm showing up. And anybody else who's interested in Black male romantasy, baby, y'all need to show up too. First date out the gate. Baby, she needs to be number one on everybody's list. Barnes & Noble, Amazon, Books A Million, whoever is the girls that sell it. Your local independent bookshop, number one at everybody's store. Number one at everybody's store should be The Dragon King by Terry J. Benton Walker. Period. I said what I said. Get your fucking pocketbooks out. Get the motherfucking ducats out. Pre-order if you got to. Baby, put the money down and get you The Dragon King by Terry J. Benton Walker because, baby, I'm getting mine. And we need that so that we can show the people that we want more Black romantasy, Black male romantasy, and Black male fantasy. All right? We need more of it. They need to make it happen. It needs to keep coming. Let the people know. Next up, I'm looking forward to A Clash of Carnivores by LaSalle Sambury. That is coming out on August the 4th, which is right around the corner from when I released this video. So hopefully I might get that very soon because I already got the first book in the series, A Mastery of Monsters. I need to get around to reading that, but I also have to read the other LaSalle Sambury books, but I also want to read her science fiction fantasy novels again because I loved Blood Like Magic. I loved it so much that I need to reread it again. I'm looking forward to A Clash of Carnivores by LaSalle Sambury. Next up, I'm looking forward to Season of the Serpent by Sui Davies Okongboa, which is coming out on August 18th, which is almost kind of around the corner from when I released this video. So hopefully I will try to get that very soon as well. The Call of Crowns by Chinaza Badu. That is coming out on November the 24th. I'm looking forward to that. I still haven't read Birth of a Dynasty, but I'm hoping to get to that soon in the second half of the year. And then I'll make sure to have The Call of Crowns by Chinaza Badu on deck next so that I could get into that because I've heard so many good things about Birth of a Dynasty. And then just reading the synopsis, baby, she sounded mad juicy. Very, very soapy, very soap opera fantasy. That's my thing. I'm here for it. I'm here for fantasy mixed with soap opera. I'm clocked in. That's my steez. That's my thing. So I'm gonna be clocked in for that. Next up, I'm looking forward to The Siren by Tomi Adeyemi, which is coming out on September 29th. I'm gonna get me a piece of that. I don't even think I read the synopsis yet. I'm believing in my girl Tomi. I mean, I still ain't read Children of Blood and Bone, but I believe in my girl Tomi, okay? So I'm gonna show up for The Siren. My girl is gonna eat, so I'm here for it. Next up, I believe it's the final in the trilogy for Blood at the Root. Ashes at the Altar by Ladarian Williams. That is coming out September the 15th. I don't know if it's going to be a trilogy or if it's going to be an ongoing series, but definitely I'm going to get my piece. I'm going to get that book. I actually need to reread the first book, Blood at the Root, then read Bones at the Crossroads, and now read Ashes at the Altar. I need to read all three this year and complete the entire series. And although I do not know when this book is coming out or if there is another book to come, which I'm sure there is another book to come, and I don't even know if it's going to come this year or next year or in 2 years, But I'm looking forward to the third book in the Rage of Dragons series by Evan Winters. I have Rage of Dragons and Fires of Vengeance is the second book. So I'm looking forward to the next book. Although I ain't even read Rage of Dragons, but I heard it's so good. Baby, I need to clock in. That's going to be on the agenda for this year as well. There's so many books that's going to be on the agenda for the second half of the year. I have to get into my series this year. So I'm hoping Evan Winters makes an announcement and says, hey, the third book in the Rage of Dragons series is coming. Here's the release date. Like, keep your eyes peeled, look out for it. And finally, my next big reading priority before the end of the year, it is to read more series. Reading more series and more dramatic novels. That's been the plan from the beginning of the year. I've been able to do a lot more contemporary books, but I definitely want to do more series, more fantasy, maybe a little bit more sci-fi, but definitely more series and more fantasy. And I wanted to read more male books, more gay books, more gay stories, especially by Black men. I want to try to read more nonfiction in the second half of the year because I started reading some nonfiction books at the beginning of the year and I made it halfway through the books and I haven't continued or completed those books. So the main intentions for the rest of the year is to read the series that I got back there, and we're starting with Children of Blood and Bone. I'm going to be reading more series, more fantasy, more male stories, more guys smushing and having sex and stuff like that, and falling in love and romance, and more nonfiction books. I have quite a few books that I need to read, that I want to read. I need to read some memoirs. I need to read some self-help along the lines of self-help and knowledge growth. As a matter of fact, I also have books on history, plus there's books on African sexualities and like homosexuality in pre-colonialism. So I definitely want to read about those. I definitely need to start reading that this year. And then additionally, I will be watching more movies, more like boys love male type of stories. I need to watch The Con. It's an African male gay movie. I'm looking forward to watching that. I don't know if it's like the first, but I think it's one of the most prominent early African stories about two men from an African country falling in love. So I'm looking forward to reading that, and I heard it's really good and it's really beautiful. And also, I'm still writing. I will be writing some more this year, continuing to write a fan fiction story and writing other stories and other story ideas and kind of fleshing them out. I'm currently still working on a fan fiction story that I'm working on. I just need to get through the first draft of it and complete the story because I've been writing it and I put it out on AO3, but I don't like how it's coming out because it's just basically the first draft is just going up on there. And I need to just finish the story, go through the first draft, and then go back in and do a second and third draft to clean it up and make it more presentable to the world. But overall, thank you for spending your time with me. And I am out this bitch like Fleek. Shout out to Peaches. Thank you, girl.